Okay, think about your morning, like that first hour. What happens?
Hmm.
Probably turn off an alarm, maybe stretch, stumble to the bathroom, brew coffee.
Yeah, definitely the coffee part for me.
Right. It's all kind of
Well,
automatic, isn't it? We just do it mostly on autopilot.
absolutely. And, it's interesting because looking at these everyday routines, these sort of mundane descriptions, well, that's where you can actually find some surprising stuff.
Exactly. We've been digging into these transcript excerpts, right? Just someone detailing their day-to-day life.
Uh-huh. Nothing dramatic, just the usual.
Yeah, it's sourced from transcripts off a YouTube channel. It's for English listening practice, so it's just describing everyday things.
And because they repeat day after day describing similar activities.
You get this really rich picture, like the actual rhythm of a normal day.
Precisely. And looking at these patterns, well, hopefully for you listening, it gives you a new way to look at your own day.
Yeah, maybe see the structures you didn't notice,
Yeah.
or, I don't know, find some hidden deficiencies.
Or even just, appreciate the routine for what it is, the comfort in it.
Okay, so that's the plan. We want to really get into these accounts, go beyond just, I did this, then I did that, and pull out the interesting bits.
Sounds good.
Let's start where the day starts,
Yeah,
the morning, those ritual.
right. And the first thing that jumps out is the wake-up time. It's really consistent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, across the different accounts, it's always somewhere between 6:00 a.m. and 7:00 a.m.
Okay, so pretty early and reliable.
Yeah.
That must set a certain tone for the day, having that predictability right off the bat.
I think so. It kind of gives this baseline structure. Then, the usual first steps.
Yeah.
Alarm off, get out of bed, pretty universal.
Sure.
But then, even in the bathroom details, there's repetition. Washing face, brushing teeth. And they specifically mention mint-flavored toothpaste more than once.
Huh. That's such a tiny detail, but it makes it feel real, like a little sensory thing they notice.
Exactly. These small sensory notes pop up quite a bit. Then it's breakfast time. And again, a fairly predictable menu.
Let me guess. Toast.
Yeah.
Coffee.
You got it. Toast with butter is common. Tea or coffee. Sometimes it's cereal with milk or orange juice. Now and then eggs or banana make an appearance.
And they describe the actions, like putting the bread in the toaster.
Yeah. Putting bread and spreading the butter, pouring the drink. It paints a very clear picture of just making breakfast.
It's those simple physical actions. Okay, so after breakfast, getting dressed.
Yep. And there's a distinction made there. Formal clothes if it's a work day,
Oh, okay.
and comfy clothes if they're staying home. So that choice tells you about the plan for the day ahead.
Makes sense. What else before leaving the house?
The check, the pocket pat down or bag check. Phone, keys, wallet.
The Holy Trinity. Can't leave without them.
Pretty much. It's that last little check-in before heading out. And then putting on shoes, opening the door. And often there's a little note about the feeling of the fresh morning air.
Another one of those sensory details. Okay, so the morning sets this pattern, predictable steps, but with these little moments of noticing things, feeling the air, tasting the toothpaste.
Exactly. It's a blend of routine and slight awareness.
So what about the next phase? The commute and the actual workday.
The commute is almost always the same method. Walking to a bus stop, then taking the bus.
Okay.
And details come up like waiting in line for the bus, finding a seat. Specifically, a window seat seems preferred.
Oh, interesting. The window seat. Likes to watch the world go by.
Seems like it. The descriptions mention looking out at the city, tall buildings, shops, the busy streets, traffic. It's like a little daily dose of observing urban life.
A mobile observation post, like you said earlier. Then arrival at work.
Usually described as an office, it's in a big building, often noted as being on the 3rd floor,
Specific.
and accessed by an elevator. Again, these little specifics ground it.
And the start of the workday itself.
It's quite ritualized, too, saying good morning to colleagues, so there's some brief social interaction.
Right.
Then turning on the computer, checking emails, and starting tasks. The actual work described involves things like typing, reading documents, sometimes phone calls. Pretty standard office stuff.
Okay, very recognizable. And lunch. Do they pack or go out?
Seems like they usually go out to a nearby cafe.
A little break from the office environment.
Exactly. And the order is often similar. A sandwich and a drink, like tea or water.
And what's the vibe of the cafe?
Described as generally quiet, cozy, sometimes soft music is mentioned.
Nice. A little sanctuary.
And here's that observation thing again. They mention watching people outside while eating lunch.
So even during the break, there's this element of watching, observing the surroundings.
Yeah, it seems to be a recurring theme. After lunch, it's back to the office, more work, Sometimes team meetings are mentioned in the afternoon.
Got it. And the end of the day.
It mirrors the start in some ways. Finishing up tasks,
Yeah.
shutting down the computer, packing the bag.
A reverse routine.
Right, and then leaving the office. There's often another sensory note here, noticing the sky changing color, maybe orange, feeling the air getting cooler.
Marking the transition.
Definitely. And the journey home is the bus again, the reverse commute, now observing the city lights coming on.
Okay, so the workday is this solid block, framed by the commute, with these little sensory moments and observations sprinkled in. What about arriving home? How does the evening unfold?
Well, getting home triggers another set of almost automatic actions. Shoes off, bags down.
Decompressing.
Yeah. And often drinking a glass of water right away, like an immediate comfort thing.
I get that. Then what? Relaxation time.
Seems like it. Often involves sitting on the couch. TV gets mentioned, specifically comedy shows.
Okay, likes a laugh.
Or reading. Mystery novels seem to be a favorite, so clear preferences for winding down.
That gives a bit of personality. Then dinner. Made it home.
Usually, yes. Dinner made and eaten at home. Meals like rice and vegetables are mentioned, or pasta with tomato sauce and salad. Simple, home-cooked meals.
And I bet there's a sensory detail here, too.
You know it, the smell of the food cooking in the kitchen.
It really brings you into the moment, doesn't it? These little details.
Absolutely. And after dinner, cleanup time, washing dishes, tidying the kitchen. A sense of order seems important.
Keeping things neat, and then winding down towards bed.
Yeah, the final steps. Changing into pajamas or comfy clothes, brushing teeth again, washing face. There's a note about using cold water, feeling refreshing.
Another sensory touch point.
Exactly. And then into bed. The accounts usually mention feeling tired after a long day, ready for sleep.
A very relatable ending.
Definitely.
Okay, so we've walked through a typical day based on these descriptions. Stepping back, what are the big picture takeaways? What themes really stand out to you?
Well, the most obvious one is just the structure, the sheer regularity of it all.
Right. It's incredibly consistent, day in, day out.
Yeah, even with small variations, like maybe having eggs for breakfast instead of toast, the overall flow, wake, prepare, commute, work, relax, sleep, it's locked in.
And maybe that structure itself is comforting or provides stability.
I think it could. That predictability might actually, free up mental energy. You don't have to constantly decide the basic framework of your day.
That's a good point. What else?
Those sensory moments we kept noticing. The mint toothpaste, the fresh air, the cold water, the smell of cooking.
Yeah, they're sprinkled throughout.
It suggests maybe a way of staying grounded. Even within a very set routine, there are these small points of contact with the present moment, like tiny anchors.
I like that. Little anchors in the stream of the day. And what about the balance? Like work versus relaxation?
There seems to be a clear delineation. Work happens during work hours, commute frames it, and then evenings are protected for relaxation, TV, reading, home life.
So a sense of balance is maintained.
It appears so. And the social interaction aspect is interesting too.
How so?
It's quite minimal based on the descriptions. Brief greetings with colleagues, observing strangers in the city or cafe.
Not deep connections described.
No. It could suggest someone who's maybe more introverted or just values their quiet downtime. It's not packed with social events.
Yeah, that's true. Listening to all this, despite it sounding, maybe a bit boring on the surface, I get this underlying feeling of, like, quiet satisfaction. Does that make sense?
Tell me more.
Like, there's no drama, no major highs or lows described. It's just the steady completion of tasks, the comfort of familiar routines, enjoying a simple meal or a book. Maybe there's a real contentment in just the everyday rhythm.
That's a really interesting take. Yeah, maybe the lack of drama is the point. A kind of peace found in predictability, in managing the day effectively, not needing constant external excitement.
Exactly. A satisfaction from the process itself.
That's quite profound, actually, when you think about how much we usually focus on the exceptions, the big events.
Right. So, for everyone listening, hearing about this very structured, detailed daily routine, what does it make you think about your own day?
Yeah, do you see parallels? Or maybe stark differences?
Are there parts of your routine you appreciate more now? Or maybe spots where you could, inject a little more awareness, like noticing the feel of the water when you wash your hands or the taste of your coffee?
It really prompts that question, doesn't it? In the sort of automatic pilot mode we often run on. What are we missing?
Yeah.
What subtle patterns or like unexpected little moments of interest are just slipping by in your own day because you're not looking for them?
It's a call to maybe just pay a bit more attention
Yeah,
to the texture of the everyday.
exactly. What richness might be hiding in plain sight right there in your routine?
A really interesting thought to end on. Thanks for digging into this with me.
Yeah, this was fascinating. Lots to think about.